No disrespect to nobody, but we run this shit.
The champ is here. Come on. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. Just drop my nigga. The champ is here.
Back.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna run through a few topics and then we'll go back to the introduction.
All right. So we're just gonna lightly touch on each one.
Yeah, we good.
All right.
You know what you wanna do first?
I'm just gonna go in order.
Yeah.
Yep. Right off the dome. Let's get it.
All right, bet. All right, so I know what's first.
All right. So
All right, Bill.
we're gonna run through these topics, give our insight, and
To our best of our abilities,
keep it short though. We're gonna keep it short because we got other things we gotta get to.
of course, and we don't gotta go through all of them, so it's up to you. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm really depending on how much time you got.
All right, man. We're gonna start with this first one. God, the big God.
What's up, Jamel?
I don't necessarily like titles, but if we were gonna have a title, I would be not antagonist, agnostic. I would be agnostic by definition, for sure.
Okay. Can you pull up a definition?
Of agnostic? You want me to pull it up? I can tell it to you. I can pull it up.
No, it's already up there.
Okay.
Tip will let us know. What is it? Hey, Tip. What does agnostic mean? All right.
Well, I would be agnostic. So, you heard the definition Tip gave, and that's where I'm at with it, man. I believe there's a creator.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe this creator wrote a book. I don't think he has a chosen land or a chosen people. I don't think he dislikes you if you're gay. I don't think I don't think these things. I don't think he destroyed the earth because a few people sinned and he wanted to make everything right in the future. I don't believe in that sort of thing.
You don't buy it?
I don't buy it. Some people would refer to it as like a sky daddy. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I've heard these terms and I just want to bring it to everybody's attention. I don't believe in that sort of creator.
Mm-hmm. What do you think the word sky daddy comes from? Like the term?
Well, the Bible is mainly a masculine book. If you look at all the people who are leading it, the people who are in charge, they're mainly men. So Sky Daddy is just an ode to, the daddy in the house, the one that everybody is afraid of. So you should do the right thing, or you'll end up getting your ass whipped by dad, or you might end up in hell type thing.
Right.
So that's where I think it derives from.
If there's a sky daddy, do you think that there possibly would be a sky mommy or a sky mother, Mother Nature?
Well, see, this is a part of why I don't subscribe to the Bible, because that's the way I think it has to be. If there's a male influence, there has to be a female influence for this thing to happen, or it just don't happen. That's just how it is. And in the Bible, it's just the man, and then he creates another man, and that man creates a woman. But in reality, we don't see any of that type of activity. We see the woman giving birth. It seems like they give so much reverence to the man in the Bible that the woman is kind of put in the back seat, when I feel like it should be 50-50. Like the negative and the positive of a battery. You
Right.
need them both, or that positive is no good to you.
Right. Exactly. Do you think that
That shit tastes good.
this is a strawberry? We smoke hemp wraps. We fuck with these. No tobacco here, buddy. That shit out of here. What do you think the symbolic or the symbolism is behind the woman in the Bible? First, before you answer that question, and for the viewers' knowledge, for my knowledge as well, have you read the Bible? If so, have you read it all the way through, and how many times?
I'll be honest with you, absolutely not. I've never sat down and my goal been to read the Bible, but I have cherry picked the Bible in a critics type of way. So I'll give you that. I haven't looked at it to be something positive.
What percentage do you think of the Bible have you read?
Probably about 20.
Actually not bad.
20%.
That's a good, 4 or 5 books, right? You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna give you all of the details, but it's a decent insight. Is it enough to form an opinion? That's really up to you. I believe that's a personal thing. So, in your personal opinion, do you believe in the Bible, that the Bible is true, in absolute or impartial? How do you feel?
No, I don't feel that it's true. In totality, I think that it has truth in it, but I don't think that it was. Well, I'll say the New Testament for sure. The New Testament was not brought upon us to be a positive. They in the wrong hands, they were able to use that book to monopolize on black people, from manifest destiny to them convincing their own people through the literature that this was their land and they were supposed to come here and destroy the natives, to them okaying slavery, and you seeing the symbols on the KKK uniform similar to the church and everything. Like, that's where all that stuff derives from. A lot of hate came from that book that people just don't give it credit for. Like the fact that it says that we're going to be enslaved for 400 years in a foreign land, and it happened to us. And to some people, that's justification of it happening. But my point would be, why would God do that to his people?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the type of thoughts that I have, man. And I also don't think that the Bible gives enough reverence to Egypt. And a lot of those stories originating there.
Egypt. Who's Egypt?
Who is Egypt? Egypt would be the first civilization that we knew to record their history and events of that transpired in a way that they could be passed down. So, for instance, in the Bible, when that joint pop off and everything start getting going, Egypt is already has a kingdom. They got pharaohs. They got people in charge. They got a hierarchy. They got a civilization. They got rich people, poor people already. You know, that stuff is already. But they don't go into it to say like how this came to be, or even Moses was learning the way of the Egyptians. I mean, I just don't feel like they give enough reverence to Egypt.
I've had to read certain things over and over. I would read the Bible. I would come up on a word that I don't know, right? So I'll go to Google. What is that word? All right, get the definition. And a lot of times, if Egypt was ever mentioned, it was mentioned as Old Egypt.
Okay.
And Old Egypt had a different name.
Kemet? I really just use that colloquial term because that's what people...
Of course.
I ain't trying to just take people where they not at yet, you know?
Right. Now let's take people higher.
Okay.
What's up, 23?
They definitely went by a different name.
Why do you think that the name was changed?
So part of colonization. The first thing that you want to do when you're going to colonize a people is take away their language. So they cannot communicate adequately. If they cannot communicate, then they cannot beat you. So when you get to conquering a people, you want to change the names from what they know traditionally to something that you have control of and it came from your culture. So then you can change the narrative of the name and what it actually meant to the native people because you've now adopted it as your own. So basically, If you can control the tongue, then you can control people's actions.
Oh my gosh. Because the tongue is powerful. The tongue is mightier than the sword. You can slay as many people as you want to, but if I can get, just by my words to draw thousands against you, you're gonna be slaying for a while, and somebody's gonna cut you off at some point. And I think that is important, and it's true. In order to change the colony, you have to change his name. You have to change his literature, their language.
It's another reason I have a problem with the Bible, though, because you take it to the beginning, and they named them people in the beginning, Adam and Eve, and those are Jewish names, and it's impossible for them to have those names if they were the first people, if the Jewish people weren't the first people. So those people actually had names. Now, if we're going to say they existed, then we have to admit that their names weren't Adam and Eve.
Let's talk about Adam and Eve, the names.
There's no way that was their name. They were in Africa. They was in Africa. Their names was not Adam and Eve. It's just not how it goes. So they have taken the credence of whatever that, like let's say you did something great, right? In 2,000 years from now, it ain't Barbara D that did it. Mm-hmm. So motherfucker, they name whatever the fuck they name them.
I would be hot if they changed my name.
That they changed your name.
Yeah, so when I die, my name will still be D'Angelo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't call me nothing else. In 500 years, don't call me nothing else.
The damn disciples was in the Middle East with names like Paul and Luke. Mm-hmm. Come on, man. That's not happening. It's just not happening. So what was their real name? And why can't we give credence to those people's name? Mm-hmm. It's because our tongue has been taken from us and given anew.
I've always questioned Jesus, as we call him today, is a simple name that, we know in the English language. But, of course, they were not speaking English.
Right.
And so, as a matter of fact, the letter J wasn't introduced into the English language until after the 1500s.
Okay. Wake them up.
Let me run that back.
Didn't even exist.
I said the letter J did not enter into the English alphabet until after Christopher Columbus sailed. Take that back. That wasn't his name either.
One more time, man.
After Christopher Columbus sailed to America. Damn, that wasn't America. That wasn't her name either. Hold up. Yeah. Whoa, hold up.
That's a fact.
Whoa.
That's a fact.
Hold up. Y'all thought.
Sheesh. Getting deep in here, man. All right, let's get it. All right, look. Next topic we got, man. Next topic we got, and I'm going to just be the first one to say I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not a parent. I can't say nothing to parents about parenting because I don't have that under my belt. But the topic is parenting. I grew up with a stepfather that I didn't know was my stepfather until I was 16. So my whole life I've been thinking, this is the guy. We doing everything together. This guy's kissing me on the cheek and we sleep in the same bed. So I'm thinking, hey, this must be my father. But I don't find out till later in life that that's just my stepdad, and my real dad lives in New York, and I've never laid eyes on him. Now, this happened because my mom wanted to give me a better life. My dad was a street dude, and when I was being conceived, he was in jail. He was on the run at the time. So she decided to marry a Marine, and this is how I became a military brat, right? So in my heart, I want to be mad, you know, like you didn't even give me an opportunity to know my father. But in my mind, like I'm really okay with who I came out to be and the way that this whole thing, you know, panned out. And I just wanted to bring that up. I know that kind of got really personal, but I just wanted to bring that out because, like, that's a part of parenting, and that's something that when the household is broken, you open the kid up to things like this that you didn't even see coming. Like, my mom had every intention of doing a good thing, but then it's like, at what point you gonna tell him that's not your dad?
Right.
And when is a good time to tell a kid that's not your dad, you know? So parenting is sensitive. I tip my hats to all the parents out there, all the couples that's able to stay together and actually raise a family.
Mm-hmm.
That's key. That's key. It's huge for the kid, man. You can't be selfish in that regard.
I think it's important for the youth, and I think this topic is important for us because you know, I think we should be looking forward to ourselves from the 10-year future. You know what I'm saying? I think we should be consistently looking up to that person. So, you know, identifying what you want in the next 10 years, and for me in particular, I want to be a father. You know, actually, I've always wanted to be a father.
Why though? What makes you want to? Is it that you want your name to live on, or you want
that becomes part of it, you know, because you know your name is there. You got your father and whoever your dad's side of the family, whoever carries on that name. So I got a bunch of brothers, sisters, and cousins and stuff like that, nieces. I kind of understand later on in my adulthood what I'm missing. As a matter of fact, I wonder how much more I could be missing, because to see people that actually have fathers and their parents are on the same page, it leads to a better, more understandable life. Like, I would hate to hear my kids call somebody else daddy.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
because
that's what I grew up with, like calling somebody else daddy. You know what I'm saying? And dad, then pops. And when I see my actual dad, it's kind of like I know this guy, but
yeah, that's
you know,
ooh,
and I don't want that for my child, you know. And so I think that it's important for people at our levels who are looking forward to being a father, going into fatherhood, and going into it with the right at least intentions, you know, and more of a conscious effort, you know, as opposed to blaming it on life and saying life happens, because life does happen, but also we happen too, and sometimes we just lack certain responsibility, discipline, and accountability. And I think it's important to take that sense of integrity into adulthood if you're going to raise a young being. It's not just a baby. It's not just a cosmetic or, you know, a little functional toy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cute. It does cool things. You know,
it's a living organism. It's the future.
Yeah.
I feel you. So, in your ambition to have a kid, would you make sacrifices to your standards to have a kid? Like, not necessarily if they got a kid, but maybe you have a certain, what you're attracted to. Would you compromise that to say, hey, let's have a baby?
Yeah.
Damn, that's deep. That's deep.
I think men are good with compromising, if need be, you know, for the better of, you know, both, or for the greater good, I guess you could say.
I'm just asking because I've kind of come to that stage a little bit. I don't know if I'm past it, where I'm like, I'm almost willing to lower my standard, lower my expectation from a physical attraction standpoint, from just a broad standpoint. I'm willing to lower my standard to accomplish this goal before it's too late. I've gone through that thought process, and obviously it hasn't happened. Like, I haven't got nobody pregnant, but I've had those thoughts. Like, fuck it, man. I just got to do what I got to do because time's running out, nigga.
For who? You?
For me. I don't want to be fucking 50 years. Well, this is where we had it. 50 years old at the graduation. Kids graduated 18 years.
Right.
You're right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I never wanted that. Granted, I look young as shit. It's one of those good problems, but I never wanted that. You know. So that's more so what I meant.
I'm gonna be dope in my 50s.
I would hope so, man. I would hope so. I'm not necessarily looking forward to it, but I like my youth, man. I like my youth.
Yeah.
All right, we get on the next subject. Next subject. This is a big one for you. Big one for you. The boss man. The boss man.
What are you talking about?
The next one is business. Business, sir. My man is a businessman. We in this place of business, man. Kudos to you, man. Flowers, all that, man. You deserve all that. Places jumping, helping people out tremendously, helping out the community, keeping people fresh on the streets. How you do it, man? What keeps your head in the game as far as business? There's a lot of play, it's a lot of podcasts, and a lot of cuts, but business, bro, like, what keeps your foot to the metal?
I think it really all comes down to what you want out of life. Putting yourself in the right positions, pointing yourself in the right direction. And where do I get the drive, the energy, the hustle?
Man, a lot of motherfuckers just sit back in the 9 to 5 and be cool with it. You got greater ambition to...
Seeing from the outside looking in, just from the perspective of a young child. I was a middle child. So, for one, I've always wanted my own.
Okay.
I wanted my own. I want my own PlayStation. I want my own bed, my own bedroom. You know what I'm saying? My own TV, all of this. I want my own shit. And that started from just a smaller perspective. Just saying like I want my own PlayStation because, I'm not allowed to play PlayStation.
So something organic like your living situation.
But you ain't got no money.
made you develop a mindset of wanting your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, wherever it come from, shit.
Also, I saw my mom struggle.
Okay.
I seen her go from apartment to apartment and not come out with no kind of like ownership.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And for my whole childhood, like we was always in apartments.
Never really owned nothing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the way it was explained to me was kind of similar. Like it's basically a mindset. Like this guy was saying, like you gotta have a dream. You gotta have that thought process of I'm gonna own a business and I'm gonna have workers. And he was like, the people that don't know that and don't have a dream, they gonna end up in that motherfucker's dream as one of their workers. Not living out yours, you're gonna be living out theirs. So it just really starts in the head, like you said. Like I don't own my own business, but if that seems like the right route to me. Like if your mind is not of, an entrepreneur's mindset, like the Rich Dad Poor Dad that you brought that up the other day. That shit is real, and it starts with a mindset. I mean,
what's the concept of it?
The concept of the Rich Dad Poor Dad, is that there is it's a boy and he has a friend, and his friend's dad is an entrepreneur and his dad is a doctor, and he's talking to the friend's dad, and they're talking about something, and I think the question came up of something was going to be very expensive, and he was like, his dad would say that, oh no, we don't have enough money to pay for that or to afford that, and he said the other guy's dad, he responded saying, how are we going to get that amount of money to take care of that? So basically, like I said, it comes down to like a mindset of, are you ambitious enough to go out here and face failure to get what you want to get done? Or are you willing to play it safe, you know, and be the doctor and get the, you know, 150 grand, whatever doctors get. I don't know, they probably get more than that, but which one are you willing to do? Are you willing to, you know, bet on yourself, or are you willing to, you know, let another man pay you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, not to sound boastful or, you know what I'm saying, cocky, nothing like that, but I know all my shit dope. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I knew I was dope. I'm an artist. You know, the way I calculate things, the way I look at things, like I might not see it for what it is. Like, I see shapes in different, you know, like frequencies of, you know, perception.
I can believe. I always thought that about people that can like manifest that shit, especially through art.
Oh, manifestation is real.
Like, if you have it, but it starts here. You know, everything starts in the dark, and then it manifests itself into the light, so it can be observed. You know,
exactly.
And I think people that can do that I can't draw for shit, but I think people that can draw are super special because they're taking an image out of their mind, and through their own personal body, you know, they're manifesting that image, and I think that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
One of my current art pieces that I'm currently working on is my good fellow Tip.
TIP coming live
sitting right behind
VIP.
us.
Oh, the nightlife, lost life without me.
You probably wouldn't recognize it, but it's not even finished. It's not even almost finished.
My man be working on shit that I don't even shade it. It's too bright.
Yeah, man. And it's like, when I see it, it's already there, bro.
That's what yeah.
You know, when I see an image, when I got that image in my head, in my eyes, I've already put it on paper.
It's already done. Yeah.
So my biggest issue is I'll start a project, and I'll get halfway done, and I'll see it like clearly, and I'm just like, it's already done. And then I'll never finish it, and you know, I end up with 100 unfinished art pieces that later on I gotta go touch up.
Dang, that's some deep shit.
Lately, I've been actually finishing my work. I dedicated my 29s to finishing what I started, and so I just went around and started.
I saw you finish up the refrigerator quick. I came in the next day, that bad boy was up there.
I'm gonna be honest, that motherfucker still ain't finished.
What you mean? Don't make me look bad on camera, man. I see we gotta take the camera over to the shit, man. It's done.
Oh,
this guy, perfectionist.
We'll give you a picture right here. Man, I'm waiting for the decals to slap on the side of them, cause just want to throw it on and I gotta clear coat it, and then it'll be done. But it's workable. It's definitely usable.
I want to go back to something real quick, and then we can go to the next subject.
So,
this is the part of the Bible that I believe in. So, in the beginning, you know, God spoke the word, and then, you know, everything that he spoke, you know, manifested itself in the physicality, right? But that speaking, it came from his mind, so it came from a thought. So you just explaining, like, well, I can see this already manifested. I can see it before, like, it's on the paper. I can see it in totality. It's a dude I listen to all the time. His name is Bro Sanchez. Anyway, I'm gonna go what he talks about.
We'll put his
So,
name in the box in the comments.
If if I tell you right now to imagine a blue house, right? Automatically, you imagine a blue house. You don't think about the paint that has to be brought. You don't think about the wood, the foundation that has to be set. You don't think about the roof. You think about the shit in totality and how it's already complete. I think that is a God gene, if you will. Because just like God was able to create this place through his thought and manifest it through his words, that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same exact thing. You're manifesting it through your head. You're thinking about it with your head. It's already complete, like you already explained.
Some people might call it witchcraft.
What's the other word they got for alchemy? No, not alchemy. It would be, I guess it would be alchemy. But I don't think it's witchcraft. I think that's your. I think everybody has something that resembles.
But no,
the Creator.
Our words are powerful. The tongue is powerful because words are spells.
Spells. You hit it on the head before I could get it. They are spells.
So, words do manifest, and I'm talking about words spoken and words written on paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so the pen is mightier than the sword. Let me correct myself. My manifestation came from writing in a notebook, drawing it out. I knew how I wanted my barber stations to look like, so I started drawing it out. Mm-hmm. You know, figuring out the dimensions, exactly how it should fit in alignment with the other amenities that I added onto it. So then that came with getting the wood. How much wood do I need? Same exact thing with my logo. I drew it out, I put it on paper, and then I, took it to the computer and made it digital. And then I sent it to somebody who does, professional logos, and I cleared it with him, and he gave me back the final copy, the final rendering, and the whole shit was established. But everything comes from the mind, the tongue, pen.
Okay, that's a great time to segue into our next topic. Cancel culture. So how powerful is the tongue? How powerful is the tongue? So cancel culture has a lot to do with freedom of speech and being able to speak about things that used to be fair game and now is considered taboo. Let you go.
Everything's a joke right now.
Think the world is too sensitive.
Shit, even your First Amendments, your Second Amendments, your Third, Fourth, and Fifth Amendments, your 13th, 14th, and what the hell is going on, bro? Like, we need to amend some amendments, bro. This is some bullshit. But cancel culture, man. Can I be honest?
We hope so. That's what
I think
they want
it's
to
a
see.
joke.
Think it's a joke?
I think it's a joke.
Shit. All right. I'll take it a step further. But okay, let's get a little bit deeper, though. Let's unpack a little bit more.
Because, okay, so this is what, cancel culture is. Cancel culture is a fictitious entity, right? It is a group of digital opinions that can't be solidified nor officiated. And I think its own structure is its weakness. I think it's it's just as weak as it is strong. You know, cancel culture only affects you if you let it affect you.
What do you think the agenda
let's talk,
behind it is? What do you think they're trying to accomplish by? You think they're trying to make society weaker mentally? They're giving out participation trophies. Cancel culture. You can't say certain terms anymore. You can't talk about. Well, there's always been certain groups you can't talk about. But what do you think they're trying to accomplish behind putting this in the works, man? Because I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm gonna be straight up with you. What most people would consider conspiracies, I'm willing to go down that rabbit hole with you.
Let's talk about Kevin Hart. He's that comic that never really steps out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't necessarily go too far in either direction. So you can't necessarily call him offensive. There's nothing that you can really bash on him for when he had the incident with his wife. Cancel culture got at him, right? And he went through his little trials or whatever. He's going through a personal journey. And there's people that feel like they have the right to an opinion that want to tap into this little window screen of on their phone and control your life. Like, this is how you should be roving your life, you know. And this is only for a segment of time because motherfuckers got a short attention span. Next month they gonna be on some other shit. And to really get over it, all the nigga had to do was get back on the stage and start talking about this shit. That's all you gotta do. That's all he had to do. Motherfuckers just want to hear an answer from the source. Like, they just, like, you know, like, they got their fucking opinions that they're throwing at you, but, like, they want your feedback. They think they actually have access to, you know what I'm saying, this individual.
Right.
And it doesn't link like that.
They personalize themselves with the celebrity as if they know him or they knew him or they seen him. I get what you're saying. And then they start to form opinions that they think are valid.
Right.
That don't really apply to somebody's circumstantial situation. Man. You don't know. You don't know what's going on.
You don't know, bro. And I think it's very similar to the slap we heard around the world. It seems like from the aesthetics of it, like all these two individuals have to do is get back on stage and talk about it. And motherfuckers will shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know, give it a week or two.
You know what I think sometimes? Like, I be like us as middle class people, I think we have a mindset that is altogether different than that of celebrities and people that have a lot of money. And they wouldn't necessarily make the same decisions that we would make. So they could look at it.
Regular people, right?
Right, because they could string this shit out and make a big deal out of it, make a little TV series and shit, make a whole bunch of money.
Like this?
Like we trying to do. But yeah, they could, you know, do the most of it. So I just think that's part of it. That's part of it. As regular people, you're like, man, we can talk about this shit, you know? We boys, we've been knowing each other for 20 damn years. We can talk about this shit. But them, everything's a show. So they got to keep the intrigue going. They see the internet going crazy. Why don't we call it truce? Chris Rock's ticket sales for his shows sold out right after the shit happened.
From the bits that I've heard, Chris Rock didn't accept his apology. Matter of fact, he said, "Fuck your apology." But I personally don't think he meant that.
Meant to slap him?
No, I don't think he really meant "fuck your apology." I think that's just something that he was supposed to say.
Of course.
You know, for the audience to get them going. You know what I'm saying?
But if you don't feel that type of anger in the moment, you ain't gonna feel that type of anger after.
Right. You like this shit's been gone 6 months ago. I don't
Yeah.
know how long, bro. It feels like a year. Everything feels like a year nowadays.
You know that.
But,
Yeah.
but yeah, do you want to touch on it? I mean, just you know, you.
I don't want to touch on it only because, and I'm not on this whole Black Power tip or nothing like that. Trust me, but I just think that it puts one of the people that are looked at, one of our people who are looked at in a great light. It just gave him a black eye, which reflects on all of us as black men. So I don't want to expound on it. I wanted to just kind of go away into out of existence. So not to necessarily shield responsibility of what happened, but like we just don't need that on our resume right now, man. We really don't need that. We got the cops on us. We got other issues. Just recognize it for what it is and learn from it.
We saw it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We saw it.
And we know right from wrong from it. So I don't want to down Will Smith. I don't want to down Chris Rock. I think Chris Rock handled it great. Better than I ever All could. right. Last one for the night. Politics. Politics. You want to hit it first? Or you want me to get it?
I think you got the last one first. So let me
Yeah, do your thing.
let me shape the aesthetics. How high on a level do we want to go? We can talk barber politics, we can talk city, state, you know what I'm saying, federal.
Let's start at the top and then we'll work our way down gradually. Maybe we don't have to do all of it tonight, but we'll just start at the government level, man. No, fuck that. Start at the international level.
No, fuck that.
Start at the international level. Because this is where the conspiracies really
International?
really begin to manifest themselves, because countries are in bed with other countries, and it's politics and things that are going on, treaties and all kind of
we speaking global.
trade things going. So let's go international first.
Okay. This is America. It seems like we in cahoots with the people all across the world. We call them Asians. Seems like Russia's doing a thing.
Fucking up our gas,
Bro,
so
just a quick touch on the UK Russian violence.
There we go.
I heard Joe Biden talking a whole bunch of shit before he got into office. You know what I'm saying? Like, talking about the shit that he was gonna get done. And, motherfucker, bro. Then he got into office.
I'm sorry, my bad.
And that nigga's just still talking shit. Right?
Bro, he can't talk at all. That nigga is stumbling over his shit talking.
I don't know who's writing these speeches that he's reading, but then the UK and fucking Russia and shit start to pop off. I'm wondering if I'm about to do, you know what I'm saying, dodge bullets day by day, and this nigga's just still talking shit.
Never ignorant, getting goals accomplished.
From a regular people level, you know what I'm saying, up to the highest level of this current institution system. What the fuck?
Nah, it ain't there. It's not.
It's like, do y'all motherfuckers actually care about us? Do y'all even give a fuck about y'all's, citizens?
I'm gonna have to go with no.
I mean, but they have to, because they have like laws that tell us that certain things, like we can't ride without a seatbelt and we can't like smoke weed in certain places. You know what I'm saying? They have to care because like they would care about our bodies, right?
Well, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I think they need us to function. They need us to do the work. If we not functional, then You know, we just losing motherfuckers because they won't put on a seatbelt. Put on a seatbelt. We losing motherfuckers getting killed to gun violence. Let's take all the guns off the street. Mm-hmm. Like, they have to have us around because if we not around, they got to do the work, and they not going to do the work.
I got a question. And I haven't really done the statistical data on this, but how much would you think people die from not wearing a seatbelt versus people dying from drinking while driving?
I would say about 4 to 1. That's probably too close. Maybe like 6 to 1. Motherfuckers is drunk, they gonna die.
6 to 1 toward what?
Towards more people dying from drinking than people dying from not having a seatbelt.
That's just your estimation of an assumption.
My ignorant assumption of the numbers. That's what it would be.
Bet.
Yeah, that's what it would be. About 6 to 1.
So would that be enough to assume that maybe alcohol isn't necessarily the best for our system?
Well, you know, this is what I'll say. Anything in moderation is okay. But to your point, if people are dying from this particular thing, then why don't we do something about this particular thing? Is that what you're getting at? At a higher rate than this other thing that you're giving me a damn ticket for.
Well, yeah, exactly. But this is just an example.
That they really don't care.
It's an example of the way things are run in kind of a backwards order. You know, when we look at marijuana as an herb, and herbs are known to heal you. Regardless of the way that you decide to consume it yourself, an herb is still an herb.
Facts.
But the one that they made legal was the one that could kill you. And
talking about tobacco?
Tobacco, alcohol, the
ATF.
Sure.
Alcohol, tobacco, for firearms.
Fruit roll-ups.
The damn, that sect of the FBI. Well, they made that. I get what you're saying. But they couldn't regulate the weed. If they could regulate the weed like they can do it now, because people were so thirsty to have weed be legal in the United States or in their particular state that they voted for. But what they didn't realize is once you make it legal, then they have control of it, the whole market. You know? So this is why you go to the weed shops and you ain't getting no unprepackaged weed. Everything's going to be prepackaged because they have set a market for it because people wanted it to be legal. Mm-hmm. So it's all kind of catches to it. Like I said, if they could have done that back in the day, shit would have been legal. It would have been legal. But they needed the people to be tricked to want the shit to be legal. They fucked it up, man. They fucked up the whole game. Without even knowing, and that's the crazy thing about politics. You think that you're doing the right thing and it's fuck the police and bro, you need the police.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Need them.
I think fuck the police was great for that time. Let's talk about 1992 when I was born. LA riots. You know, Rodney King in his days. Me born in 92. That's significant to my life. You know what I'm saying? I carry the 92 around, you know, everywhere I go now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always thinking back to, okay, where we came from, where I started, and where we going, where we headed. F the police was probably necessary for that time.
Agree. I say that. I give you that.
But this is 10, 20 years later.
Right.
This is 2022. Wait, fuck. 30 years later.
30 years.
Come on, bro. We're not talking about fuck the police no more. You know what I'm saying? We need, okay, and then what?
That's always been my thing too. Like, it seemed like we quick to go out there and protest and, do these things. But like you say, we've been doing that shit for now 60, 70, 80 years in America.
It's necessary. I'm gonna be honest, bro. When people started putting like the black dots, on their like Instagram profiles. You remember that time, that segment?
With the Black Lives Matter thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they kind of like, they joined it with the Black Lives Matter. It was just a wave that people were following. But
that was a wave.
But then people, they started to get the attention from, the higher powers. You know what I'm saying? And we had the attention, and that was great, but they didn't do nothing with it.
They shit got hijacked.
Right.
I think they understand it, man. They understand it just fine. Just like if I sat up here and said, hey, I'm gonna wear this pink ribbon for breast cancer awareness. That don't mean that, testicular cancer doesn't matter to me, or brain cancer doesn't matter to me. But this is the month that we have chosen to get behind breast cancer. That's all Black Lives Matter was. Like, and for them to, like you said, hijack it and turn it into different monikers and stuff of all lives matter just to rival the name is silly as hell. Because like I said, if I said breast cancer, I support breast cancer awareness and shit, you're not going to say, well, what about skin cancer? You don't give a shit about that? You're not going to do that. So they very well know the difference.
So when you do it purposely, then that is what seems like racism.
Right.
And because you're still perpetrating the oppression and antagonizing when you know that there are not just, a few select individuals, but a whole people that are, still on the uprise. It's trying to get to an even playing field. That's all we're trying to do, because on this little playing field that you guys are on, there's potholes, and we're stuck at the bottom of them. Who is Jamel?
Oh my, interesting guy, man. In my early years, I was a lot more competitive than I am now. Now I'm just, kind of more kicked back and letting life come to me. I grew up a lot of my life, like, I always told myself I was special. I always felt special.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a part of your mindset, like we talked about earlier. Like, people that have low confidence and they've always felt this way about themselves. Like, I've always felt this way about myself. Somebody told me one time, hard times don't build character; they reveal it. So for me, either you have it or you don't have it. Like, it's just that simple to me. I've lived on a military base. I lived in the South. I've never lived in the ghetto, but I've been around the streets. It's not my thing. I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm not built for it. I'm not built for it. I don't got a heart for it. I tried to pimp one time. I don't have a heart for it. I tried all these. I'll be honest with you. You want to know about me? I've tried all these things, and I don't have the heart for it.
Right.
Like, I honestly, in my heart, if I was to judge myself, I would say I have a good heart. If I was to be judged on the scales of my heart right now, I would be good. That's how I feel about myself. So that said, like I said earlier about my upbringing, my mom, I'm so happy with who I am today. I wouldn't have wanted anything to change. So if it was a mistake that was made that produced this, I'm cool with that. I'm a glass half full type of dude.
Half full?
half full.
That's interesting.
I like to be half full, but I recognize that it's also half empty. So I'm cognizant of my surroundings.
You know, I think I've solved that theory.
Okay, let's get it.
Well, I have a water bottle here that's actually half empty.
On the dot.
The reason that it's half empty is because the last transaction was a deficit. If I had started with an empty bottle and poured some water into it halfway, that would be equivalent to half full.
So, what if I just approached the bottle?
If it was already there,
If it was already there.
you would have to assume that nobody drunk it unless you can prove that someone did.
Well, I would
Is it
have
drink or
to.
drunk?
I would have. I think it's drink.
I think
I would have to know that there was a reduction. I know the bottle didn't come like that.
It's a bottle, like a dish.
Right, and it's half empty when I approach it.
Then it's pretty obvious it was open.
Right. So according to your logic, then it would have to be half empty.
Yes. Bottle.
I'm not gonna argue with it. I've never heard that argument before, but
Because
that's sound though.
This in particular is a professional bottle. It's
Right,
got a label
right.
on it and everything.
Right.
So I would have to assume if the label is broken, then it's been
Right.
sipped or poured out. I have to assume that. I have to. Someone opened it. Just like you picked it up at the store and this shit open? I'm not fucking drinking that.
Okay. So I'm not talking about.
But if it was just a glass?
I'm not talking about the water bottle from an actual or physical standpoint. I'm talking about the mindset of it being half full versus it being half empty. Being that I would use the inspiration of there is this amount and it's half full versus the despairing thought of I'm losing. Just to keep myself in positive vibes.
Right.
But understanding that they're one and the same. It's not
To stay
ignorant to
humble,
the fact.
stay modest,
Right.
To not get too big in your head to where you can't, really see the important things in life, and a lot of times is right in front of you, and you don't even realize it. Yeah, so in a sense, it's half empty because there's things that I want.
I think you're on a good path, man. I like when people say things that resonate. When you said that shit about the bottle, like I was blown away. Like I ain't never heard that one before.
The perspective, whether it's half full or half empty, I think it could be a matter of whether or not you want it to be. Let's say I have a bottle of water right here, and I wanted more. Then I'm gonna look at it as not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a sense, it's not full enough. It's not full. It's half empty. Right? No, it's only half full. Yeah, it's only half full.
Would they both be true though?
It would have to make sense every time, because what I did right there was added another word to it. I said only. And so I think that can play a part in it as well, coming up on, a random empty glass, and, let's say, all right, bet, I'm pouring myself some Kool-Aid in a glass, and I thought it was gonna fill the glass, but it didn't.
Is it 80% full? 90% full? Are we even talking about percentages?
It's only half full. It's only half full.
You had to throw that only back in there to make a difference in this motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
That's wild, man. What was the other thing you wanted to jump on before we end this joint?
When did you touch your first pair of clippers?
Shit. I got clips from I want to say 2010. Around 2010. Nah. Myself, 2006. 2006.
Mm-hmm.
I go 2006 because I was with my ex and we was 2006. I was coming on here.
How'd you come up on them?
The Clippers.
Yeah.
I was staying at my sister's house at the time, and my brother-in-law had some Clippers. He had the old school corded T outliners, and I forget what kind of Clippers they were. They were trash though. They were trash. And I started with that, and then I didn't like his shit because it was always so dirty. And this before I even knew about Barberside and all this other shit. And I was like, man, I gotta get my own shit.
When did you decide to become a barber? Like full time, like I want to do this.
I was working at FedEx with my man Shy, rest in peace. And we found out January 10th that we were getting laid off March 11th, some shit like that, whatever. And that day, I had already been looking into the school. I hadn't made a decision yet. I was actually gonna go to the night class because I had a job and I was gonna be there in the morning, and I would do the night class at night. And they gave us that news, and that day, I decided. February 7th was my first day of school. Put down my 1,500. I've been rocking like that.
That's hard. And you want to tell a story about Chicago? Because just in case we missed some footage.
Chicago is why I'm in front of y'all right now. Actually, in the position that I'm in, and I owe him a lot. You know. But the story with him is I was working with him. I've been working with him for the past, 7-8 years. And he went to cosmetology school. He never got his license. He was from Chicago. He came out here to California. And he rocked out in cosmetology school. And this time they was paying for the school. So he went to school for free, but he never got his license. So fast forward, we working together. And, like any barber, he a hustler. Hey, you want a hair? You need a haircut? Do I cut hair? Check me out. This, that, and other thing. All you barbers out there. You know how it is. So he hit me up with it. And like I told you, I've been cutting hair already. So I told him, hey, I'll let you cut me up, but I'm not going to pay for it because, I already cut my own hair. I just do it myself. He was like, okay, I like your work. You should go to school. And this was like 7-8 years ago. And I put it on the back burner. And I used to go to his house, watch him cut, get tips from him, and I was in the game. I'm thinking I'm a barber and shit. I never went to school, never made it official. And he actually passed away April 27th of this year. And I'm in school, but he won't get to see me graduate. Well, from wherever he is, looking over me, he'll see me graduate, but he's not here to see me graduate. And it's just a life lesson to me that tomorrow's not promised, and you got to take care of your business now, like right now, so yeah. I regret that he's not going to be here, but I've used that to inspire me to finish this feat, and after I do this will be for him, and then whatever I do there after that will be for me, and that much more satisfying.
That's dope. Who did your haircut?
Today?
You got a fresh ass lineup on the damn camera.
Oh, my boy Jesse, man. My boy Jesse, Jesse with deluxe cuts. I wish I could. Do we got time to tell a story about my man Jesse?
What's up? Who's Jesse?
All right.
I had a boy named Jesse too.
Jesse is the best barber I have ever come across that is not seasoned in the game. Like, when I see him work, it looks like I'm watching a YouTube tutorial. He's not saying nothing, but I can see all the steps. I can see his I can see everything, step by step. And he does designs. He does the most, man. And we've worked in 2 different shops together.
Shout out to Jesse.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to Jesse, man.
Both of them.
Big shout out to Jesse. Worked in 2 shops together. He's just somebody that's been there with me since the beginning, man. And we rocking out. Man. We not at shops no more, but the best of luck to him. And the shop that he's at, I ain't gonna shout them out because I'm not feeling them. But big shout out to Jesse.
Yeah. So what shops you come from?
Did I come from?
Yeah. I mean, have you worked at any other shops?
Yeah, I worked at a couple shops in Ontario. I said I'm not gonna name one because I'm just not gonna name one.
Right.
But the other was demeanor. And shout out Lou, man. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you for, everything that you did for me, bro. You didn't have to do none of that. And all the tips you gave me, all the game you gave me, outside of barbering, got a beautiful family. Shout out to them. Your pops, bro. I met all kind of family members, distant family members, man. And best of luck to y'all. This unfortunate situation that landed me here, and I'm happy to be here. But definitely big shout out to you, Lou. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big shout out to you too, man. Even though it was a situation that benefited me to come over, you opened the doors with open arms, man. Like whatever you need, whatever you want to do. It's been like that since day one, man. The guy took me outside and you want to hit this? And Lou don't smoke. He's cool with me smoking, but he don't smoke. So, that was something else that resonated with me. It's no disrespect to my Hispanic brethren, but y'all know how this shit go, man. I needed to be with my folks. I mean, light as me and shit. I can't.
This is messed up, man.
So I'm good here, man.
Spotlight got me looking yellow.
Yeah, we good though. We good. Don't trip.
Waffle cone.
But yeah, man, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I hope to be licensed soon. I'm about to be done with school. That was a big hurdle. It's done. It's paid for. Now it's on to the state board. Knock this out.
That shit, bro.
And enjoy the fruits of my labor, man. And me and Shy gonna do it. And me and Shy gonna do it, man.
We about to go up, bro.
Yep.
Let's just keep your head down, trust the process, and stick to the script. Let's go.
Stick to the script. That's right.
The Undisputable Truth. Get at me.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in to the next one. Gotta have an ending slogan or something like Def Comedy Jam has. Thank y'all for coming out.
Think of it right now.
Night. That's what they used to say on. We should just steal that. Don't nobody from this generation remember that shit.
Say again.
Thanks for coming out. God bless. Good night. They used to say that. Russell Simmons used to say that every show.